Shalom, Yasharallah. This your brother Dawada, coming back at you with this truth again. First and foremost, I want to give all praises and honor to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Ruach Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that taught us this truth and that rule well. And salutation and much love for you, Akim, pushing this truth and sincerity over the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. So I want to jump to this here lesson, which is in the season that we're in right now, elections and voting and things like that. You have a lot of our people that's out here that's really, how do I say, hardcore over voting. You see them around, walking around, and maybe at your job or whatever, whatnot. People you run into, people you don't even know. They ask you, hey, young man, are you registered to vote? You voting? And then you look at them, nowadays, I just say, yeah, I'm already registered. I voted already, or I'm early voting, mail-in ballot voting, just to clear the conversation and keep it moving, because these people pretty much will chop your damn heads off if you don't want to vote, dealing with our people, not really these Edomites like that, but, the higher up Edomites are putting our people to brainwash our people into sleep again, But like I said, you have your regular everyday Joe Israelite, that you see, maybe at work or at the gas station, they ask you, hey, did you vote? So on and so forth, And, it gets to a point to where, especially these older people, that are, old enough to be my father, my grandfather and stuff like that, is to the point where you want to ask them like, yo, what has this government ever done for you positive, man? All right. Have you not seen what's happening? They just putting you further and further into the hole. All right. So I want to jump into this here lesson, which deals with, Israel, which we've been doing this the whole time, man. All right. We want to be like these heathen that are around us. So we choose to have a king over us like that. All right. We wasn't supposed to have no king over us, man. All right. We were supposed to have you have different types of rulerships where you have like a monarchy where you have like a king. All right. You have like judges and things like that. Like a court system. All right. And then you have also like how they have, they also talk about having like presidents and stuff like that in scriptures. All right. All these different things like that, senates and stuff like that, these different rulerships, But ultimately, we were supposed to have a basically like a dictatorship, or, basically a dictatorship. We did have a monarch. All right. Like in book, I believe it was book of 2nd Samuel or 1st Samuel, where, King David was, blessed with having, basically his seed to sit on his throne. It was basically going to be a monarch that was going to descend from King David. And ultimately, King David was going to sit on the throne forever, But ultimately, it's a straight dictatorship under the rule of Yahweh Shai, all right? But nevertheless, our people were supposed to have the most high rule over them, all right? He was going to be the one to guide them, all right? But nevertheless, our people wanted to have a king like these other nations, all right? So this is what the Most High wound up saying. This is Deuteronomy 17, verse 14. It says, when thou art come into the land which Yahweh thy power giveth thee, and shall possess it, and shall dwell therein, and shall say, I will set a king over me, like all the nations that are about me, thou shalt in any wise set him king over thee, whom Yahweh thy power hath chosen. So the Most High was going to choose this person. One from among thy brethren shalt thou set king over thee. All right. So, we were supposed to have one of our own people ruling over us. All right. Now, you have in modern day time like today, for layman's terms, we're going to say Barack Obama, because most people think that Barack Obama is a so-called black man. And yeah, a lot of our people went out and voted for him just because he was a so-called black man, in which we know that he's a Hamite. But, regardless of that, you also have Kamala Harris, where the new the new slang or whatever, whatnot, is saying, oh, we're not voting for Joe Biden, we're voting for Kamala Harris or whatever, whatnot, But nevertheless, either way, with either Kamala Harris or Barack Obama, let's just say Barack Obama's an Israelite, right? These are both, let's just say, Israelites, all right, under the guidance and the rulership of Esau, all right? So they're just puppets, all right, on a puppet string, So it's not necessarily just like, Obama in layman's terms, again, all right? A quote unquote so-called black man, all right, running a so-called white system, all right? He's not going to be able to do whatever he wants to do. You got two prime examples of Abraham Lincoln and JFK, all right, which both of these guys pretty much tried to change the basically the currency in America, all right, to where the American government will print their own currency, all right, and they were both assassinated, just like how you see with Saddam Hussein and Muammar Gaddafi and so on and so forth, But nevertheless, we were supposed to have one that was of our own people, not just somebody, again, like Kamala Harris, who, I believe she's an Israelite, but nevertheless, she's not in that mind state of being an Israelite. All right. If anything, we were supposed to have somebody with the law, statutes, commandments nigh to their own heart, more or less to say, somebody who had that in their mindset. All right. So let's continue on. Verse 15 again, Deuteronomy 17 and 15. Thou shalt in any wise set him king over thee, whom Yahweh thy power hath chosen. Salak, thou shalt in any wise set him king over thee, whom Yahweh thy power hath chosen. One from among thy brethren shalt thou set king over thee. Thou mayest not set a stranger over thee, which is not thy brother. All right, because ultimately they don't have the best. They don't have the best, intentions in mind for you. All right, not to better you. All right, they're only there to basically, how the scriptures say, thou shalt suck the breast of the kings. This is how we're going to be eating up off of them. We're going to be getting their resources, right? But what has happened right now? All right, they're sucking our breasts right now. All right, we have to get up early in the morning and go slave and pay taxes to make these people extremely rich, man. All right, just look at the so-called coronavirus, how these top billionaires and things like that wound up gaining way more wealth during the coronavirus shutdowns than everybody else, where everybody else wound up losing. They shut down all these businesses and made people stay at home, and the banks started repossessing cars and homes and things like that, where the ultra rich, they wound up just eating off of that. So this is why we weren't supposed to set these people up, because they didn't have the best intentions for our people. Verse 16, but he shall not multiply horses to himself, nor cause the people to return to Egypt, to the end that he should multiply horses, for as much as Yahweh have said unto you, ye shall henceforth return no more that way. Neither shall he multiply wives to himself, that his heart turn not away. Neither shall he greatly multiply himself silver and gold. And it shall be, when he sitteth upon the throne of his kingdom, that he shall write a copy of this law in a book out of that which is before the priests of the Levites. All right. Again, keeping the most high first and foremost, not trying to go away and trying to fatten his own pockets, thinking about only himself. All right. You see a lot of our celebrities and things like this that, when it just comes down to the truth, that know the truth. Prime example, Nick Cannon. Right. Not saying he's a leader over us, but this is a so-called role model that they put up or whatever, whatnot, But what happens when he starts speaking out on the truth? They want to bring him into the cancel culture. All right. And then he start thinking about, oh, shit, I got a family to feed. I like to save money. I got the fame. I don't want my name tarnished. So guess what? I'll go and do another podcast with a rabbi and let him sit here and, make me look stupid and so on and so forth, and put my people back to sleep and so on and so forth, just because me as Nick Cannon want to save my own skin. I'm not really worried about the rest of the people and everything like that, even though, at first I want to tell my people about this and that. But when it came to affecting me, you know what? Forget about all that. I want to fatten my own pockets, It says, verse 19, and it shall be with him, and he shall read therein all the days of his life, that he may learn to fear Yahweh his power, and to keep all the words of this law and these statutes and do them, that his heart be not lifted up above his brethren, and that he turn not aside from the commandments to the right hand or to the left, to the end that he may prolong his days in his kingdom and his children in the midst of Israel. All right. So this would be a righteous king ruling over our people, in which when you actually go through the lines of the kings that we had, pretty much all of them was wicked, You had a couple righteous kings, King David, King Solomon, but nevertheless, the majority of our kings were all wicked. All right. So I'm going to go from there. Was it 1 Samuel? I think it's 1 Samuel 8. Yep. 1 Samuel chapter 8. I'm going to actually read this whole chapter real quick. 1 Samuel chapter 8, which is going to give you the flip side of what we was just reading about, how, the Most High, again, didn't want us to have no king or no judges. Our people kept asking for these things that the nations had around them. We wanted to be like them. All right. Just like in modern day times or whatever, whatnot. Man, we see a lot of these things that these heathen are promoting. Then our people want to go do the same thing because the heathen are doing it, man. And what does it do? Further destroy our people. All right. And one of the major things they have going on right now is voting. And hey, man, the only time that they so-called care about you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans and speak so-called nicely about you or in some type of way of light about you is when the elections come around. All right. Because they want to sit here and buy your so-called votes buy your basically your attention. It's not even a vote. They just want to make sure that they can keep you it's like you fishing, right? And you throw the worm into the water or whatever, whatnot, and you playing with it or whatever, whatnot. And then all of a sudden the fish is looking at it and he's like, man, this shit is fake, man. Whatever, whatnot. It's just sitting there at the bottom of the water. Man, real worms be moving around. Then you realize that the fish is looking at it. So you start, pulling it in a little bit, make the worm look like it's a little alive. Then the fish like, oh shit, it's alive. Then he bites on it. Then guess what? You hook and now you go on somebody's grill, That's basically what they want us to be like, because throughout the rest of the time, Jake ain't really into politics or whatever, whatnot, man. Over this last couple of months of elections, man, Jake has become super politicians nowadays, man, talking about all kind of politics and this and that, man. Sound like a bunch of smart, dumb niggas, man. Oh, you got to vote. You got to register to vote. It's so important. Your voice mattered, this and that. And they don't know nothing about the electoral college. That's just on layman's terms. If you knew about that, you knew, according to that situation, that's how the presidents are selected, not through the popular vote. And which is even deeper than that, because we know that none of that should even matter anyway. They're going to put in who they want to put in anyway, all right? But nevertheless, this is 1 Samuel chapter 8. I'm starting at verse 1. And it came to pass when Samuel was old that he made his sons judges over him, over Israel, And Samuel was basically a prophet, man, all right? But then what? They went into having what? Judges over them. Now, the name of his firstborn was Joel, and the name of his second was Abiah, and they were judges in Beersheba. And his sons walked not in his ways, but turned aside after lucre and took bribes and perverted judgment, all right? And this is the same thing that we see happen with, not to say our politicians, but politicians that are Israelites, people that are in this type of light, not just politicians, but you have these musicians, these entertainers, or whoever is on these certain levels to speak about certain things, Now, when it comes to like, all this sports and entertainment and stuff like that, you have athletes that are just all right or whatever, whatnot. Obviously, if they're in the sports, they got to be on some type of level. But then you have the other ones that are, pretty decent players or whatever, whatnot, or pretty decent musicians or whatever, whatnot. But then they also have some type of pull with the crowd. For instance, LeBron James, right? They want to hear what he has to say about this and that. LeBron James could go to Disney World and eat at a restaurant. Oh, what did LeBron think about this here restaurant? I'm like, this nigga is a basketball player. Why don't you just worry about him and playing basketball? But now y'all want to worry about all these other things. Why? Because this is more or less like a role model, whatever. Oh, LeBron got this new car, so we got to get this new car. Or this new rapper's drinking this here new liquor, we got to drink this new liquor. This new actor or actress is wearing this here type of garment or this designer label or whatever, we got to wear it, So they use also these people, all right, to pervert judgment, and they they pay him off and everything like that. Again, the Nick Cannon situation, right? Verse 3 again. And his sons walked not in his ways, but turned aside after lucre and took bribes and perverted judgment. Then all the elders of Israel gathered themselves together and came to Samuel unto Ramah and said unto him, behold, thou art old, and thy sons walk not in thy ways. Now make us a king to judge us like all the nations, right? So here we go again. Our people want to have a king over them, like who? The other nations, all right? Real quick, let me come back to this real quick. This is Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 6. It says, for thou art a holy people unto Yahweh thy power, all right? Going into holy, we were a separated people, all right? It says, for thou art a holy people unto Yahweh thy power. We were supposed to be different from all the other people, man. All right, if the Most High created everybody with, let's say, let's just say like it's in a cartoon world. I remember it was a cartoon, Doug, where this nigga, there was an episode where they was clowning on somebody because he wore the same damn outfit every week. You know what I'm saying? It was called a Dylan something outfit or whatever. And they was getting on the other little bully kid, Dylan Farnham. They was tripping over this shit, right? And this nigga wound up wearing the little outfit this other dude wore. But it was funny because they kept talking about how the dude was wearing the same outfit every day. And they go in the closet and he's got the same outfit. But in reality, it's a cartoon. It's like watching the Flintstones or the Jetsons. Every episode, they got the same outfit on, It's that's just what the fuck they do, But nevertheless, imagine that the Most High created everybody to wear the same outfit. Everybody's wearing blue, right? But then he created the Israelites and separated them from everybody else. And now they're all wearing white, right? So now there would be a separation from all the people, man. All right, only the Israelites would be wearing white, whereas all the rest of the people on the face of the earth would be wearing blue. So you would see that there was a separation. All right, oh, these are God's people because look, by default, the default outfit that they wear is all white. We can see. All right. Now the outfit is a representation, just like in the garden, when Adam and Eve saw they was naked and stuff like that, But nevertheless, they didn't have this here wisdom and knowledge, which is the law, statutes, commandments inside of them. We were supposed to be different from these other people, man. All right, separated. All right. So it says Deuteronomy 7:6, for thou art a holy people unto Yahweh thy power. For Yahweh thy power hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all the people that are on the face of the earth. So like I was saying, if everybody was by default created to wear blue outfits, and the Most High created us to wear white outfits, all right, you would clearly be able to visually walk outside and see, okay, these are the Israelites over here, and then these people are just regular people, Just like how you can tell the difference between a civilian and a police officer based off of what? Their uniform that they wear and the cars that they drive for the most part, We're supposed to be separated, We out on the highways and, driving in the streets and stuff like that. The separation between the civilians and the police, when you see them black and white cars roll up behind you or whatever, whatnot, But going back into the scriptures, let me read back verse 5. It says, but he said unto him, behold, thou art old, and thy sons will walk not in thy ways. Now make us a king to judge us like all the nations. But this thing displeased Samuel when they said, give us a king to judge us. And Samuel prayed to Yahweh, and Yahweh said unto Samuel, hearken unto the voice of the people and all that they say unto thee, for they have not rejected thee, but they have rejected me, that I should not reign over them. All right. So see, look, you're supposed to basically have a straight dictatorship, man. All right. The Most High was supposed to reign over top of us, man. All right. Or I forgot how they call it, a monotheistic society, where you have one God reigning over basically. Well, that's like just having one God, but you're supposed to have a rulership reigned over by one God, man. We were. That was what our situation was. That's why we were separate. These other nations, they have many gods, man. They worship all kind of different shit, man. That's just the level that they on. They don't have a real true power, nothing like that. It's like you really balling in the real world, right? You got Bill Gates or Warren Buffett money, Jeff Bezos money, all right, versus these niggas just playing Grand Theft Auto. Yeah, you got $100 million on Grand Theft Auto, nigga, but you playing a game. You can't really go out to the store and try to charge up on your Grand Theft Auto account. Yeah, y'all got plenty of accounts. You got $100 million account here, $100 million account there. Y'all got plenty of these fake ass accounts, but you can't really buy nothing with that, man. You can't go take your Grand Theft Auto account and go buy a real house that you can live into. We got real money over here, It says, verse 7 again. And Yahweh said unto Samuel, hearken unto the voice of the people and all that they say unto thee, for they have not rejected thee, but they have rejected me, that I should not reign over them. According to all the works which they have done since the day that I brought them up out of Egypt, even unto this day, wherewith they have forsaken me and served other gods, so do they also unto thee. All right, because why? We're a rebellious and stiff-necked people, man. We always want to be like the damn heathen round about us, man. We can also see this play out in our lives and how our lives play out, whether you're an older sibling or, uncle or aunt, and you see like your nieces and your nephews or your younger cousins and stuff like that. When they're younger and you older, and you see that they be wanting to do some dumb shit, like, you got it good over here. Why you want to get rid of this and go to that? You got real food over here, home cooked food over here. And you want to go eat some McDonald's, you know what I'm saying, or whatever, whatnot, man, or in anything. You got a relationship with a woman. Everything she would want and desire in her heart, she got right there. Got a roof over her head, the bills is paid, madness into just her, man staying at home with the kids and the family and all kind of shit like this. But she and some excitement and this and that and everything like that. But yet and still, she want to go leave out for a one night only good time with some dude that's gonna just leave her off. Like, why would you leave, unlimited amount of good times for a one time only, and then you're gonna be kicked to the curb? But this is what our people have been doing from Jump Street, man. We want to be like everybody else out there, man. You got the married woman with the house and everything, picket fence. But she's envying the chick that's going out every night sleeping with different dudes because she thinks that's more exciting. But she don't realize that other woman ain't getting no fulfillment or anything like that, man. She's feeling dirty after every encounter and everything like that. She don't have a stable house to go home to, a stable person to text and call and go out and this and that. You got family events. You want to bring that significant other. Well, the chick that's sleeping around every night, she don't got that. She can't, got a family event where she bring the same dude and have, certain things like that. But see, the married woman is looking at these little snapshots and, oh, that's excitement. That's excitement. So this is what our people are doing as a whole, man. They see these small little things, especially like the scriptures say, envy not the wicked, for his time is but a short time. You know, we see them with their small little riches and things like that. You know, these celebrities and so on and so forth. But you don't realize the things they have to do behind the scenes, behind the curtains. You know, a lot of our youth want to be rappers and things like that, but they don't. And actors and actresses, they don't realize they got to go on a casting couch, sell their souls, and bend over backwards and stuff like that, man. Or they don't see those things. They just see the so-called highlights. You know, this is why a lot of these people who go into music and entertainment, they really would rather have a regular person's life, whereas the regular person would rather have their life, but they don't see the ins and the outs, man. All right, so look, man, this is where we started going off. We wanted to be like these other nations, man. All right, let's find out what will happen. Verse 9. Now therefore hearken unto their voice, howbeit ye protest solemnly unto them, and show them the manner of the king that shall reign over them. And Samuel told all the words of Yahweh unto the people that asked him for a king. And he said, this is the manner of the king that shall reign over you. He shall take your sons and appoint them for himself. All right, so you got to think about this. We're talking about a king ruling over us, right? We got these presidents. People talking about voting and how important it is to vote, man. And every time I hear any of our people that's in these positions in media or whatever, whatnot, harping on this moment, it's like, damn, you fucking devils, man. You are really like, and the majority of y'all that are doing that, you know, you're in a position where you have way more money. You're not in that middle to the low class, you know what I'm saying? Whereas, you know, these elites is really trying to take over you. You know, you got tens of millions of dollars in the bank or whatever, whatnot. If you want it, you can leave the country and go buy you a small island and live the fuck out there, you know? But nevertheless, you know, you sitting over here feeding our people to the damn beast, all right, and taking these here payments, man. All right. It says, and he said, this is the manner of the king that shall reign over you. He shall take your sons and appoint them for himself, for his chariots, and to be his horsemen, and some shall run before his chariots. All right, you know, taking your resources and things like that, you know. He will appoint him captains over thousands and captains over 50s, and he will set them to ear his ground and to reap his harvest and to make his instruments of war and instruments of chariots, you know. And hey, when you look into the military, the majority of the people that's in the military that they recruit is who? These so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. You know, they try to get you with that sign-on bonus, you know, the new Camaro. You know what I'm saying? You ask a lot of them Jakes why they in the military, shit, that sign-on bonus, man, that I never got. Or that new Camaro that I never got to drive or whatever, whatnot, you know? It says, and he will appoint him captains over thousands and captains over 50s, and will set his ear to the ground and reap his harvest and to make his instruments of war and instruments of chariots. All right, put you to all kind of work and labor to build up his society and his things like that, man. All right, he will take your daughters to be confectionaries and to be cooks and to be bakers. You know, I believe this word confectionaries go into like making what's he call it, like is it perfumes and stuff or little things like that? Ornament makers. Yeah, perfumers, ornament makers, you know, little dainties and things like that, right? It says, I will take your daughters to be confectionaries and to be cooks and to be bakers. All right. Hey, so hey, look, think about this, man. The majority of Jake, you know, you got the majority of Jake that work in the White House. What kind of jobs do you think they have? They don't really have no positions of prominence. All right, these are the people that's the cooks, the chefs, the lawn people, and so on and so forth, the janitors and everything like that. Jake got those type of jobs in these so-called high positions, man. All right, and Jake, you know, especially the nigga woman, she like to pride herself over her job and her position, but she don't realize she at the bottom. Girl, I work for the government. I work for TSA. Oh, you basically like a, you know, when you go into the club or whatever, they got the little the bouncers. You basically a bouncer, you know. You over here patting people down and you think that's some kind of, you on some type of level or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Whatever, whatnot. But they just using you, you know what I'm saying, to basically fleece our own people, man, to do their dirty work, man. All right. It says, verse 13 again, he will take your daughters to be confectionaries and to be cooks and to be bakers, and he will take your fields and your vineyards and your olive yards, even the best of them, and give them to his servants, you know, taking the, you know, they got gentrification, you know. They come in and they put a certain amount of money for certain areas where they rebuild or whatever, whatnot, like the Joe Biden plan or whatever, whatnot. Basically, gentrification, you know, they go to the hoods and everything like that. And I've seen this here happen, you know, like this. You know, they always say that, oh, niggas always tear up the hood and everything like that. In reality, it's Esau that comes through and do that, man. Esau will come through and, you know, they'll do certain things to, like, you know, the lawns and stuff like that, you know. hey, your eyes will really open up if you Jakes that live in like, the neighborhoods where Jake live. If you go into the neighborhoods where Esau live, like if you have to work out there, you'll see how certain things are, and you'll see how, things are set up. For instance, the things that are in your grocery stores in Jake neighborhoods are completely different than what's in Esau's grocery stores in his neighborhoods. The things that's in your gas station is completely different than what's in his gas station, man. You go in your gas station, you got a big ass wall full of Swisher Sweets, Newports, pigskins, 40, what do they call them shits? MD 4040s, Four Locos, all kind of shit like that, man. You go inside the damn Edomite gas stations, you got them little Cliff bars, power bars, protein, this and all kind of crazy shit like that, man. Fresh fruit and shit like that, man. You don't have none of that shit inside of Jake neighborhood, man. All right, but they do these things. They put, they let these foreigners come into your neighborhood and sell you all kind of garbage and everything like that. All right, and also back when I was living back in Atlanta, around the time Barack Obama was in office, I was living on the west side, which is Bankhead. And if you know anything about Atlanta, that's like the worst side of town that there was, quote unquote, was. All right, it was all, as Bankhead, it's the worst of the worst, right? But nevertheless, living over there, in the neighborhood I lived in, it was like damn near every house around me was all boarded up that says no trespassing, right? So if you're from the outside coming in, you're just like, well, this is just the hood, the slums, whatever, whatnot. Maybe the rent cheap over here, whatever, whatnot. But in reality, what was going on was every time somebody moved out, these Edomites would buy up the houses, all right, for real low dollar, real low prices, because for one, they would put the drugs over there to devalue the neighborhoods, put up a bunch of liquor stores and stuff around there to devalue the neighborhoods. Then once people got tired of those neighborhoods, right, they would move to somewhere else. Jake would be moving up. They would move somewhere else. They would buy these homes and they would board them up and put no trespassing on there. So eventually, you'd be the only house on the damn block and everything else would be no trespassing. And then your house value will go down and you wouldn't want to live there no more. Esau will continuously buy up all that land out there. All right, then eventually knock down all the houses, rebuild nice houses over there, and then, quadruple the rate of the prices of the houses over there, man. So now when you go over to like where they built the new stadium at and shit like that, going from there all the way to Bankhead and shit, down Marietta Street and all that shit, man. Because that's like a street that runs straight from like Bankhead straight into downtown, man. It ain't nothing but condos and shit over there now, man. It's like rich white folks is living over there now, man. Oh, Bankhead, like, what I'm saying? Must be two sides, but this is what they wind up doing, man. All right. Continuing on. Verse 15, he will take the tenth of your seed and your vineyard and give to his officers and to his servants. And he will take your men servants and your maid servants and the goodliness, young men and your asses and put them to his work. All right. So, hey, instead of building our own businesses and our own things like that, starting our own businesses, they basically force us by way of certain things. It's how hard it is. Anybody can go get their own lawnmower, but you know how much harder it is to go get your own business cutting grass and all the legal loopholes. Like, granted, you can go do it just regular style, go get a lawnmower and just go door to door. Hey, let me cut your grass $20. But to legally do this, to get license and so on and so forth, they make this shit so hard for you to go do all that, where it's easier for you just to go get a job at a lawn service and you wind up building up their life. It says he will take the tenth of your sheep and you shall be his servants. And you shall cry out in the day because of your king, which you shall have chosen you, and Yahweh will not hear you in that day. Nevertheless, the people refuse to obey the voice of Samuel and say, nay, but we will have a king over us. So, hey, look, this is the same shit that's going on right now. Oh, man, Donald Trump is so wicked. We got to have this other nigga. Look, niggas, stop voting for these niggas over top of you, man. Stop playing into their system, man. Not saying that if you don't vote, the elections, all this shit will disappear, but at least, hey, man, at least we can say before the Lord, like, look, we know we're under these curses. We know these Edomites are still over us, so on and so forth. But look, we're not begging for these niggas to keep reigning over us. We done with this shit, man. We woke up. Look, we tapped out, man. We submit. It's over with. You got it. It's all you, bro. We good. Verse 20. Verse 19 again. Nevertheless, the people refuse to obey the voice of Samuel, and they say, nay, but we will have a king over us, that we also may be like all the nations, that our king may judge us and go out before us and fight our battles. Which of our so-called presidents is actually going out here fighting for the real so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans and their real problems? All right. And Samuel heard all the words of the people and rehearsed them in the ears. And Yahweh said to Samuel, hearken to their voice and make them a king. And Samuel said it unto the men of Israel, go ye every man into his city. And, I want to touch in on that real quick because, look, first and foremost, if we weren't supposed to have a king over us to begin with. But nevertheless, the Most High was like, all right, but if you're going to have a king, put one of your own brothers, somebody who's going to have your own back and your own interest inside of you, man. All right, because it's somebody, how they keep talking about, oh, we got to have a black community or whatever, whatnot. Ultimately, all these things without the truth, they always corrupt, man. But somebody in righteousness who want to see their people thrive so that we could grow and multiply and become a dominant power. All right, just like how these Jewish people do. They go and they pass around money so they can get stronger and stronger and stronger. And they buy companies together so they can get stronger and feed more and more of their people, man. All right. Real quick, I'm going to throw in two more real fast because speaking of that, Kamala Harris, everybody's so hyped over that situation. This is, I think it's 1 Timothy 2. Yeah, 1 Timothy 2 and 12, it says, but I suffer not a woman to teach, nor usurp authority over man, but be in silence. All right. But nevertheless, let me keep reading. For Adam was first formed, then Eve, and Adam was not deceived, but the woman being deceived was in transgression. All right. So, hey, it's easy for these men to manipulate these women, i.e., you see when you're going out into so-called courting women or whatever, whatnot, you got, and vice versa. It's easy for a woman to pull game over a man. I.e. is just as easy for a man to pull game over a woman. But this is why you hear a lot of women say, oh, I don't have a lot of female friends because they dirty and they shiesty, because women see through women's bullshit. Men see through other men's bullshit. This is why they go to war and shit like that. But a woman can sit there and seduce a man or whatever, whatnot, put it on him, and he'll start believing all those lies. Same thing with a woman, or a man. He can seduce a woman and she'll believe all his BS, But the point was, it says, but I suffer not a woman to teach, nor usurp authority over a man, but being silent. So what? Not only are you trying to have a king over you, you trying to, people are saying, oh, we're not voting for Joe Biden, we vote for Kamala Harris. We need a so-called black woman to fix all these things. I've been raised by nothing but black women in my life, and I know that one thing that a black woman can fix all these things, i.e. you got one main person, Charlemagne the God, that's goddamn promoting this to the fullest, talking about Kamala Harris. Oh, we ain't vote for Joe Biden. We know if there's one thing we know, we need a black woman to fix all this. Before it was a black man, you had Barack Obama, but now you want this so-called black woman. All right, come on, man. And these are all puppets in the house of Esau. What our people don't realize. Now, let's look at another thing. Who's the head of the households in the so-called black community right now, man? All right, who's the the head of the whole situation? It's the so-called black women. Look at our communities right now, man. All right. Last one, we're going to close out here in Isaiah chapter 3. Isaiah 3 and 12, it says, as for my people, children are their oppressors and women rule over them. All right. So, hey, obviously we got Esau ultimately ruling over us. But also when you deal with a lot of these women, man, all right, the women that's ruling over us, especially, you grew up in a single parent household with your mother or whatever, whatnot, man. One thing that you realize about these women, especially nowadays, is they're like big ass children, man. All right, because they don't have to take no responsibilities for none of the things that they've been doing, man. All right, this is what the society promotes to them. Oh, you want to go out and have irresponsible, unprotected sex with whoever you want? Don't worry, because you can always have an abortion, get rid of the child if you want to. You can take the child and make this nigga pay child support. You don't have to have no responsibilities. Just go do whatever you want to go do. If you do something wrong, all you got to do is cry. Everybody will feel bad for you, and everybody will fix everything for you, you decide you don't want to put gas in your car run out of gas. You just sit out there with a sad face. Somebody will come put gas in your car. Hey, you can just call on the phone or any dude. Hey, man, my bills is late. I'm short on my rent. You ain't got to have no job, no nothing. And you can just play that sob story, and then people will take care of you like as if you was their child, Your thought process, your thought patterns ain't even right. You know what I'm saying? You think emotionally like a little child, man. Oh, I want cookies for dinner. Like, but logically, this is not healthy for you, Oh, don't tell me what I can and can't do. All right, this is what we have, in these single parent households. How much more you want a woman inside, let's just say, i.e. a president, because this is one of the things major people are harping over, a woman president, right? So it says, as for my people, children are their oppressors and women rule over them. O my people, which lead thee, cause thee to err and destroy the way of thy path. All right. So again, going back to our single parent households being raised up by these women, and you wonder why all our children are growing up to be monsters and just complete, man, abominations, man. All right. Where was their fathers? That's the main question they always ask. Where was their fathers at? Well, if their fathers wasn't in the picture, who the fuck raised them? All right. But nevertheless, I just want to go into this here lesson. I didn't mean it to be this here long, but nevertheless, just wanted to go into this here lesson as far as voting and setting up a king over ourselves and what will happen and where we at today, man. All right. And this is nothing but forwarding the How much more important is it in these times where all the elements about to melt with fervent heat? Yahweh Shai is about to come in and reign over the people. All right. But hey, man, come on, man. Let me see if I can find that, man. Because see, this is the problem. Was it 19 and 11? Or 19 and 27? Yeah. Luke 19 and 27. This is Yahweh speaking. It says, but those my enemies which would not that I should reign over them, bring hither and slay before me. And ultimately, that's the judgment of 2/3 of our people. Because while they're going, whether they voting or not, they still dependent on this here system. You know, they don't want Yahweh Shem Yahweh to reign over them, man. So, hey, you're going to have to learn after death by pain, man. All right. And with that, Lord willing, this here lesson was edifying unto the elect. Until next time, I say, call halal Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of great millstone that taught us this truth and that rule well. And salutation, much love for you. I can push this truth and sincerity in the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. Until next time, I say stay strong. Shalom.